Happy Monday. Thank you for joining me for this week's Weekly Wisdom. Now, over the past couple of weeks, I've had the opportunity to partner with Blaze Your Brain, which is a mental wellness and burnout company. And as I've been going to these different conferences and having conversations about burnout, I'm sensing some themes. And so I want to share those with you just as a quick reminder. Many of us are feeling like we should be okay. The pandemic we're seeing the end of it. Jobs are coming back. The economy is for now doing well. We should be okay. And then we feel like something's off when we're not okay. If you're feeling not quite yourself, it's okay. We have been through a traumatic experience as a society. And what we do know is that individuals handle trauma in different ways. Some people bounce back immediately. Some people take time to process. Some people avoid until they have to process. We know that we're going to be dealing with this differently, and so it's going to show up differently. And so if you're looking around and you're like, everybody has their stuff together but me, that's not true. There's a lot of us, including myself, that are still trying to figure out, how do I fit in this new world? I'm not who I was February 2020. I'm nowhere close, right? We're carrying new battle wounds from going through this. And just because we can't see them doesn't mean that they're not still there. And so if you're feeling like you should be okay, but you're not okay, let's talk about some things that you can do. The first is to acknowledge that it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to not feel like you thought you were going to. Nobody, including you, knew what to expect when we were going to come out of this. So we don't know what to expect or how we should show up. We are all figuring this out together. Acknowledge your feelings, acknowledge where you're at. That's the first step to moving through them, is to acknowledge where you are currently at. Don't feel guilty for where you're at. It's okay to be there. Have conversations. My viewpoint on my career shifted pretty drastically. And so I needed to talk to people who were also in the grocery industry, on the front lines, in the height of COVID, to see, am I the only one that was feeling this way? And I wasn't. Have conversations with people that can be your support systems. Sometimes we need people that understand what we were going through professionally, and sometimes we need people that understand what we were going through personally. Find your people. They're there. You just got to find them. And then the third thing that I want you to do as we're navigating what this looks like is, on those days where it feels really hard to do something big, don't worry about the big. Take one small step. I gave this advice right at the beginning of the pandemic too. Sometimes all you can do is take one small step. And some days that's enough. And what we have found is that when we can start, sometimes it's easier to continue. When we can start with that one step, sometimes it's easier to keep going. Sometimes it's not, and that's okay too. We are still hitting walls. We are still in the thick of it. Be gentle with yourself. Give yourself grace. Give those around you grace as well. We're not out of it yet. We're getting there, but nobody really knows what there is or what it's going to look like. Thank you for joining me for this week's Weekly Wisdom. And as always, don't forget, you got this. It's going to be okay. I'll see you next week.